Don't forget to subscribe!
Hey, it's Blackstar! Before we get started on the Metarex Saga, let's go over the Seedry instead of Thorndrigan and where they are. This happened before the events of Season 3 and during Seasons 1 and 2.
For untold years, Seedrians were locked in a galaxy-scale war against an unknown foe. Over the course of the year, the tides began to turn against the Seedrians as countless of her kind died, either by the hands of the enemy or from entering the final phase to combat the enemy. Understanding that they would perish one way or another if they stayed in their home, the planet's leader Earthia decreed that they would have to leave Green Gate to survive and find a new home. Earthia's husband and renegade scientist Lucas, however, was unwilling to abandon the fight and risk universal destruction. In the end, dissension was created, with no males gathering on Lucas's side and joining under his command in the refusal to leave the planet, while Earthia commissioned the creation of a spaceship that would take a mass number of females into the space. In an effort to combat the enemy, Lucas stole their world's planet Egg, willing themselves to undergo unnatural evolution. Lucas used the planet Egg's power to stabilize his and his followers' evolution into the process of the final phase, allowing them to use their monster forms without limit. Stealing the planet Egg caused Green Gate to go slowly to wither away, which Earthia soon noticed. Devastated at what Lucas and the others had become, Earthia and the females abandoned their world and soon their mutilated comrades' destruction by their enemies. As Lucas and hundreds of other males continued to fight the enemy on Green Gate, Earthia had their world bombed with nuclear weapons to stop Lucas and the others before they could continue their crusade. However, 5 males, including Lucas, survived the onslaught. These 5 were to become Dark Oak and his henchmen through the finishing phase of their evolution and became leaders of the Metarex. Earthia and the females eventually escaped into space, creating a colony upon which Earthia's last daughter, Cosmo, was born. And determined to rid the universe of all non-plant life and to have revenge on their former colleagues, the Metarex hunted down and attacked the ship carrying the surviving females, all but exterminating them. So the ship was destroyed, leaving only 6 known specimens of the race alive. Lucas, reborn as Metarex leader Dark Oak, his commanders Red Pine, Zelkova, Black Narcissus, and Pale Bayleaf, and Earthia's daughter Cosmo. As for the history of Green Gate, over the course of a war that consumed Green Gate, the tides began to turn against Cosmo's species, as countless of their kind died, either by the hands of their enemy or from using Mover mode to combat the enemy. Understanding that they would perish one way or another if they stayed on their home, the planet's leader Earthia decreed that they would have to leave Green Gate to survive and find a new home. So refusing to run and hide, Lucas stole planet Egg of Green Gate and mutated himself and his followers with it to give themselves more power to combat the enemy. So, it was causing Green Gate to slowly wither away, which Earthia soon had noticed. Devastated with what Lucas and the others had become, Earthia and the females abandoned their world and their mutated comrades to destruction by their enemies. And as Lucas and hundreds of other males continued to fight the enemy on Green Gate, Earthia had their world bombed with nuclear weapons to stop Lucas and the others before they can endanger the universe. But however, 5 males, including Lucas, survived the onslaught, and these 5 were to become Dark Oak and his henchmen through a finishing phase of their evolution and became leaders of the Metarex. So Green Gate was once a thriving planet populated by a race of Seedrians, but when the planet Egg was removed, the planet slowly withered away. Okay, now with that being said, let's get back to the plot.
Now that Sonic and Co returned home, the war between the Eggman empires still wages on until the Metarex comes to Sonic's world. Sonic has immediately noticed this and transforms into Super Sonic and goes into space. He's fought with a warrior named Dark Oak, who asked him for the Chaos Emeralds, but Sonic decided to scatter them across the galaxy, just like... But Dark Oak ordered the Metarex to remove the planet egg, leaving Sonic knocked out. As Amy, Cream, and Tails saw a meteor shower, they noticed that there was inevitably a shooting star, and they noticed that there was one falling strangely, so it misses them and it crashes a few yards away, and they discovered an unconscious plant-like alien female girl on the ground next to the crashed spaceship. Sonic was rescued by Eggman, and it was most likely because Sonic eventually just realized that he was actually just noticing that he had a duty to go for. But back at Cream's house, the young girl was dreaming about herself through running through a hallway of explosions, and she sees one of the robots Sonic destroyed, and she hears a voice saying, "Cosmo, run away!" And Cosmo eventually just wants to see everyone around her. So Cream tells her to go back to sleep, and Amy starts in with the questions, and Cream tells her not to rush and take her time. And to be honest, she really wanted to get acquainted to Amy, Cream, Tails, and Vanilla. And they noticed a noise outside. It was actually coming from a Metarex. And Knuckles noticed that the Metarex was about to destroy the forest as he was guarding the Master Emerald. So Knuckles goes into action, but the punch does nothing. The X-Tornado also had no effect on it. The Metarex could not even be destroyed. And Sonic goes after the robot because he had no other choice but to fight back. So Knuckles tried to ask Sonic what happened to the Chaos Emeralds. So Sonic explained that they were scattered, much to Knuckles' shock, and he was not happy that there were no Chaos Emeralds because he couldn't even transform back into Super Sonic to defeat the Metarex. And they will have to find them all again. And all of a sudden, there was actually a blue light emitting from the ground, and a small crystal with a galaxy inside of it was rising from the ground. And it was actually a planet egg, and without all of it, the planet will slowly wither away and die. And to be honest, it was actually a tough battle as in Sonic actually had to rescue Cosmo, and she put her gently to the ground, and the Master Emerald was glowing, and to be honest, it was coming from someone with a familiar face. It was Chris. He didn't even look like he was 18. He more looked like he was 12. And it was a good reunion. It was a long journey. Everyone had to work hard to defeat the Metarex robots, as well as collecting Chaos Emeralds. For some reason, Shadow is actually not dead. He was just unconscious inside a pod. And it was actually noticed that he teleported himself to the fight place, and he defeated the Metarex and saved Chris and shows his presence to everyone. And he comes back to the Crimson Egg with the 2 Chaos Emeralds, and he passed out right in front of the shocked Dr. Eggman and Rouge. He then regains his memory later on. So next time, it's the grand finale.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.